How did we get into this fiscal crisis? Unfortunately, as was just stated, last year our budget was developed based on an oil price of $105 a barrel. Due to nobody's fault in this room, things have changed. Now, oil is hovering around $50 a barrel, creating a state fiscal crisis. We must act according to the drastic change in revenue and face reality. A theme we've heard in this building is, you can't cut yourself to prosperity. The truth of the matter is, it's impossible to spend ourselves to prosperity. Our current president has tried that. For example, we have an $18 trillion deficit. This has not led to America to prosperity, but rather has posed a national security threat. What is not working? In the last 10 years, the state's operating budget has more than doubled due to some actions of the people in this room and requests and demands of many Alaskans, and we must take responsibility. The budget before us creates greater than a $3 billion deficit. There are areas of the budget that we could have dramatically reduced. Some bold subcommittee cuts were unfortunately added back into the budget. This caused me to lose faith in the system. We're all willing to push the yes or no button at different levels. We cannot expect the other body to make changes that we are not willing to make ourselves. Maybe many of you have more faith in the other body than I do to make the cuts that match the magnitude of the crisis we are in. What may work? We must fundamentally restructure the government to get our fiscal house in order. We must save as much as our constitutional budget reserves for our future so we can provide essential government functions like public safety, infrastructure, education in case this fiscal crisis continues. We must all be fully dedicated to significantly reducing the budget because we wish to save Alaskans' future. Money that we or any state employee unnecessarily spends means the lives of Alaskans will be more meager. And every dollar that we prudently save means their lives will be more abundant. I still believe that if we stick to our House guiding principles, we can come together to solve the fiscal situation and create a brighter future for Alaska. Just to remind our caucus members of what our principles are: to live within our means, to save for future needs, to develop a long-term plan for Alaska's future. These principles I strongly believe in. Now, we must show discipline to abide by our principles, or we will be disciplining Alaskans by going after higher taxes. The path before us. First, I do want to thank people for these significant cuts. We did make some significant cuts, and I want to thank people for doing the hard work and making those cuts. It is not easy. You are tasked with a very hard job. We have two paths before us tonight. We can take a step toward a more responsible, sustainable budget, or we can plunge further into our fiscal gap. Future generations are depending on you and me to make difficult decisions today, not tomorrow. I do not support kicking this ball down the road. When I return to my constituents in Eagle River, I want to do so with a clear conscience. Hopefully that'll be in 38 days. I must live up to the promises that I made of limiting government spending and to strive to live within our means. Call to action. Today is the day we make a difficult decision. Will we continue on this unsustainable, and some, even in my own district, think extravagant spending at the risk of Alaska's fiscal future, or will we make the hard choices that we were sent here to make right now so that Alaskans can flourish for generations to come? I look forward working with this body to reduce the budget to reflect the reality of our fiscal situation. I will be pushing the red button tonight, knowing that there may be unnecessary consequences by bucking the system, by challenging a very difficult system to work within. I encourage you to join me and do bust for what's Alaska's future by voting no on this unsustainable budget only until we make more meaningful reductions that reflect Alaska's current fiscal crises.